We'll do a sound check. Can you hear me all right? You guys want to try a sound check?
He has way more sound outputs than the rest of us.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you guys see I sent the link to the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Are we good there?
Well,
It's a little quiet, but yeah. Maybe I need to get closer to my mic.
Can you hear me now? Is that any better, or I need to kick it up?
I didn't hear you at all.
yeah, yours is not using your right microphone. It's using your.
Is that better?
one.
I had to switch.
That's better.
Okay.
I might have to close my window. Can you hear the pounding out there?
Nope,
Can't
but
hear.
we are live. I don't hear a
That's
thing.
good.
I was hoping we hear the birds. Good morning, everyone. Welcome Tuesday, April 13th after spring break. Hopefully everybody's feeling refreshed and got to step away. I know I did and I needed it. I do hear pounding now that you mention it.
Okay. I'll
Um,
close the window.
so we've got a few updates for you today. Got some new customizations that we pushed out yesterday. Canvas Live thing that's kind of cool that Canvas has started up and we actually visited a couple weeks ago. And then I want to jump into understanding Canvas URLs just to kind of give more detail and help understand the structure of what we're looking at. Hope you guys had a good spring break. Did you guys do anything fun? I did nothing.
I climbed Hawksbill Peak with my wife and son.
Nice. Where is that? Is that Pisgah?
It's part of Linville Gorge, and it's one of the highest points along Linville Gorge. And it was sunny, so we got to see the whole span. Like this is the Grand Canyon of the West,
Nice.
or the East. I mean, of the East. Yeah.
Nice.
So it was gorgeous, and then we got to hike to a waterfall as well. So it was a good time.
That sounds awesome. Amy's busy doing her work school stuff with her walkie. So
I just had my in-laws in town, which was actually wonderful. Everybody's fully vaccinated. So
Oh,
it was
good.
great. Yeah, my mother-in-law likes to bake, so she is making good use of my new oven, which is
nice.
Yep.
I felt like the guy from Office Space. I was like, I just want to do nothing.
That's true.
And
I
it's-
did wanna do that.
It was nice. So today's reminders, same as always, canvas.cmslearns.org. We continue to update that. So if you've got any resources or have people that need help with something, please feel free to send them there. It's curated for all stakeholders, and there's ways to filter that if you need. Admin consultations are still going. So if you want to meet with Jake and I and have some questions, fill out the form. We'll send you back a way to accept that invite, and we can sit and meet and discuss what you guys need to discuss. As always, bit.ly/CMS Google account. I haven't seen as many of those as lately, the Google accounts. We seem to be doing better and getting used to it. But if you have a user that's looks like account conflict and something's not working right with their Google account, those instructions will help them clear that up. If you've got questions, the form is always open, j.mp/ITPD office hours. If you're submitting a ticket, the more details, the better. Hopefully today's topic with the URLs will help understand what kind of information we're looking for when we ask for a course URL or an assignment URL and why that's so important. PD course support forms, I believe the email that everybody loves went out this weekend for credit, and Amy saw an uptick. How are we doing, Amy? We good?
I got us all caught up yesterday. There were some fun ones in
Nice.
there, but I think I got us all caught up. I'm sure I have some replies I'll have to get to today, but yeah, we're all caught up.
And Jake, I think we talked about also starting up how often we're pushing that credit out too. Could be something to consider. Power School changes again, 24 to 72 hours. We had a ticket that came in yesterday and we made a note, checked it today, and it cleared itself up. So just be patient with that. And then you got the digital learning consultations, Trish and Aubrey, those links are there as well. So our first update of the day is some new customizations that we've added, subtle little ones, but we hope that will be helpful when thinking about design and the user experience.
Now, to start with, these customizations don't happen until you do the things we're talking about. This is nothing that's going to surprise anyone unless you do what Justin's going to describe. So just bear that in mind. But our goal here is to make the modules be just that, plural, instead of a single module page where you go to that and you see all of the modules and you click on one item in a module, click next and previous, and you can go through the entire module page just by clicking next and previous. You could see all the content throughout all of modules. But instead, we want to create a module as a single unit that a student can't navigate away from by clicking next or previous. So they can't go to the next module or get to the previous module. That's what we're trying to do here.
So the first customization is styling the buttons differently for previous and next. You can see the screenshot here. They used to be gray. Now they're going to be blue. So if I go into, I don't even have modules in this course, I believe. If I go to my dashboard and go to my sandbox, go to a module item, and click on the notes, you'll see down here. Oh, this one didn't do it for me, Jake.
Refresh.
Refresh. Oh, it's still
There's
loading.
still some things going on with the JavaScript.
There it is.
Got to wait for it to load before it does that.
So you notice at the bottom of the page, these buttons are now blue in color to make them stand out, to help draw the eye. Because if you've worked with people in Canvas, sometimes you have to remind them, go to the next button, and they don't know where it is. So we wanted it to stand out a little bit. So that's one subtle little change. The next one, and this is what Jake was talking about, you have to do something. So you can see I've got a module page here. If you add the words module home to the page title, what it's going to do is it's going to remove the previous button here for the user.
So you'd want to make that like the first module item in your module. You say module home for the first item. And it should be a content page. You can't make an assignment a module home, but a content page. Then it will prevent them from going previous to the module before it.
So here's my live example. And what we're doing on the home page here is we're using the links to get them to where they need to be. So overview, start here. We'll take them that. And then we want them to go back and go to general guidelines. So when I click on general guidelines, you notice here's my next button. It's the landing page, if you will, for the module. There's a next button on the right, and the previous button is gone because we don't want the users to go back. We don't want them to get confused on where they are or get lost. We want them to stay contained within this module. So that is adding simply the words module home to the title. I have parentheses here just as a visual for myself, but those don't need to be there. But it does need to have the words module home together.
Go back to the course and from the modules page. So we want to be really clear here. When Justin's saying the title of the first item in your module is where you would place that, not the title of the module. Like general guidelines there is not where you'd say module home. You say module home for the first page of the module. And that would prevent the previous button from appearing.
Yep. Something else to note that we are recommending is we've seen modules pages not load because there's a lot of modules, there's a lot of items, and it takes longer. And we're seeing issues where students are clicking a link that'll take them somewhere down in the modules page, but the page won't load properly for them. Our recommendation is use this landing page, link to the first item in the modules instead, and you skip the process of needing to wait for all this module content to load that the students really don't need. They don't, at the moment that they go into general guidelines, they don't need all this other stuff. They simply need to get within this general guidelines module. So we're linking directly to it. We're adding the words module home, and this gets them focused on where they need to be. We've highlighted the next, and they'll go to the next page, but they can't go back to a prior module in this method. The next customization, and Connie's saying you all are really low, but I don't know why. Desktop audio, that's turned up, sorry. Next one is module complete, and this is one that's been around a while. Jake did this one. It basically, in the title, you put module complete, and what it's going to do is replace this next button to return to home page. One note about this, and we saw this year, you don't have to create this module complete page multiple times. You create it once and you just add it to a module as needed over and over and over. What we saw is a lot of duplicates of this page where you'd see module complete -1, -2, -30. Now create it once and just reuse it. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in the course here. If I go back to my modules. So let's say I'm on the quiz here and I finished it up. I click next. You'll notice the action is going to be a little bit different. Why did it not work on this one? There it is. I might have to look at that, Jake. Did you see that?
No.
Next. Oh, now it's working. Okay. So you'll notice the next button is gone. The student or the user cannot go to the next module. All right. What they can do is they click the button, they return back to the home page of the course, and that's where we have our links. So the students are going to be navigating through the course using these buttons, and we're controlling their actions within the modules by putting those keywords in the title. Again, this is not default behavior. This is custom behavior. You have to add the word module complete to the title, but this is available if your users want to use it. Any additional thoughts on that one, Jake?
Just it does require some understanding of how modules work, and it's a very intentional design aspect. So if you want to use this, you are making a conscious decision that you want to prevent students from navigating the entire list of modules and just lock them into a specific module. To do that, just make sure that you add module home to the first module page and that the last module page be module complete. If you do that, if you have those words, and you could have other words in there, but if those are the words at the end or anywhere in the title, it has module home and module complete, it will prevent it from showing the next or previous navigation.
And you can see here we're currently building out a course and we're utilizing it because that's how we want the users to proceed. We can still do our course prerequisite. So you'll notice here on this general guidelines, we still got the prerequisite that they finished everything in the prior module. That still comes into play. So if you direct them to the landing page, those prerequisites still matter. So this is an additional option. We're not forcing it on anybody, but it's there if you guys want to use it. If you have questions about it, let us know. So that is the new customizations. The next thing is the Canvas Live, is your virtual faculty staff lounge. So this is something that we were sent. But this link here, if you go to this link here, what they've got is a list of upcoming events in a Google Calendar for Canvas Live events where they're going to present a key topic, talk about it, answer a couple of questions on just kind of an ongoing series. This is a new thing. There's some interesting topics on here. So just take a look. We gave you the link, bookmark it if you need. Actually, I need to do that because I keep forgetting. There you go. Something new we got from Canvas recently. We thought we would share out.
And they're short videos. They're real nice just to get a feel for how to do a specific thing.
And if I'm not mistaken, they said they record them. I just don't remember where they were. So
it's on the page. Yeah.
Okay. Next thing is kind of understanding the Canvas URLs. This is a big part of what we do daily, and it helps us get to the nitty-gritty of things. So each Canvas URL is constructed to provide specific data about the item that you're in. And there are a number of components to a Canvas URL. The first thing you'll see, number one there, is our domain. When you are inside CMS Canvas, you will see cms.instructure.com. What if you're in the public domain? Is it just instructure.com?
Canvas.instructure.com is the free for teachers.
What was that?
Canvas.
I'm sorry.
Canvas.
Okay.
Canvas.instructure.com.
So Canvas. So if I go to canvas.instructure.com, this is a different free public use Canvas. It is not our CMS use. All right. But the key word is that Canvas at the beginning of the domain there. Whereas when I'm in our instance, you can see the word or see CMS there. So the first part of the domain.
Some people that go into the blue Canvas icon in NC Ed Club, that's going to be dpi.instructure.com because you're going to the state's instance of Canvas.
Good to know. So that's one trick to start and look at the first piece of the URL that'll tell you your domain. The next key piece is the slashes. So if you notice, I'm appearing in a Canvas course and you see these slashes here, here, and here. The slashes are your separators for the information. All right. So let's look at the first ID I've got is I've got a course ID. You see cmsinstructure.com/courses. That's telling me I'm in a course, and it's also giving me the ID number of the course. So in this instance, I've given the ID number for our Canvas admin course. All right. You're going to see other things after it, such as modules, assignments. All those things are going to come after, but the first thing that's going to be listed in this URL is the course ID if you're in a course. Then when you're in a course, the page that you're on will be identified in the URL as well. So if you look after the course ID, you'll see some keywords: assignments, modules, discussion topics. Even if you're in the grade sync for a course, which I don't think we have on this one, or settings, for example, you'll see courses, there's the course ID, and then I'm on the settings page. So that's the next piece. That means you're on that elements page, such as assignments or modules, but you're not in a specific assignment or module. Getting further down, if you see a slash and a number after the type, so discussion topic or assignment, that number is the actual ID for that specific item. So we'll get tickets and they'll say, I'm having trouble with an assignment, and they'll give us a URL, but they won't have the assignments in the number. That means we have to do a little bit more digging. So after the assignment slash, that number is a specific assignment. So if I go into what assignments we have in here. Here's a template assignment, it's called, but you see the course ID, assignments, tells me what it is, and there's the ID for this specific assignment. And this is a good little trick to get down exactly where you need. What's also nice is the speed grader. So if you're in the speed grader grading something, you'll see the assignment ID is going to be an equals. It's a little bit different of a structure, but it's clear. And then you're going to see the student ID number. That student ID number is huge. Basically, students and staff all have multiple numbers within Canvas. We have our state ID, and then we also have Canvas IDs. We have a couple others too, don't we, Jake?
Sys ID.
What about the DC ID as well?
That your Sys ID is
Okay.
your DC ID.
So the two that we use the most is your Canvas ID, which comes from the URL, and your state ID. So what's nice is, let's say you're helping somebody, you don't have the student ID handy, but you can grab it from the assignment from the speed grader. You can then go to the people page, and you notice I'm in admin and users, and then you can search and find that specific student using this ID that comes from the URL. That's oftentimes what we end up doing too.
I thought I heard you were saying that you could use that ID that you have in the box and search that ID here.
Yes.
No, you search by their Sys ID.
That's not, hold on. Now I got to check this because I'm testing it on another screen real quick. Because I don't know my number off the top of my head, do I? Yeah.
You'd search by their state ID or their email address, but the Canvas user ID is not something you search. It's not something I'd recommend using to search.
No.
Whether you can get the result or not, I'm not sure, but
I'm going to check that right now.
A lot of results. Like my Canvas user ID is 2 digits.
Well,
that's not going to get you anywhere.
For our accounts, yes, but on if I was in the kid's school account as an admin, and if I searched that ID, I found him.
Okay.
So yeah, you can search for that. Part of it's because we have more access to things. So Jake's got a point though. Searching by state ID or email address is a lot faster, and narrowing it down prevents issues with ensuring that you get the right student. Because I know we've had tickets where I've gotten a student ID as a Canvas ID, and I had to figure out which one it was, that one ticket that we were resolving with grades. So just know that that's there. Other useful URLs. So if you're in the people page and you open up a specific user, that ID is at the end. So you'll see accounts one /users. That tells us here on the people page, and then there's the ID number. Sub accounts. Every sub account for every school has their own account or sub account ID number. So, for example, I pulled up the a sub account for a school here, and you'll see accounts /171. If I were to do /users and then put in a number, I could find the users within that sub account. But to do this with a sub account, you have to have access to it. So if you're not at the sub account for 171, you can't search and get information out of it based on your usage right or user rights. So that is information about URLs in Canvas and how they're constructed. Amy?
I have a teacher. So I have one instance where this is actually useful for your teachers to understand at least course IDs. So a lot of your teachers are now going to be using what's called that copy to feature. And sometimes when they go to copy to from one course to another course, they're copying from first semester to second semester. And the course titles are very, very similar and very easy to mess up. And so you'll find a lot of times teachers will accidentally copy to the wrong course. So one thing I suggest my teachers do is they search by the course ID from the one that they are actually trying to go to. I was trying to get this together. So have them go to the course they want to copy something into, copy the course ID, and then go find the thing they want to copy to. And in that dialog box where they're searching, it'll drop down and give them all their courses. They can just paste in the course code and it'll bring them only the course that they're actually specifically looking for. And it's really handy, especially because from semester to semester, year to year, their courses have very similar titles. So this kind of helps them with that process. So that's one reason I have actually taught a lot of my teachers the concept of a course ID for exactly that reason. So Justin is showing you that here. It's going to take it a second, Justin, for you.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're doing PowerSchool courses, so they're longer course IDs. That's a very short course.
Yeah,
ID.
I realized that. So 410919. Let's try that. 410919. And see if it works.
Fabulous. Yep.
There it is.
At least brings it up. Yeah.
Yep. So good little trick with the IDs. Another thing too with IDs, and let me show you in our course that we're looking at, is sometimes we've seen issues where things are linked to the incorrect course and then the students don't have access. So if I hover over this button here, you'll notice at the bottom of the page, and I'm not going to move my mouse, but in the bottom left of the page, you see that black line and it says the domain /courses, and then it gives me the course ID number. And what I want to do is make sure that those match. So you'll see 43611 at the bottom of the page there. Again, it appears down here at the bottom. I can use that bottom number to confirm up in the top to make sure they're staying within the same course. And we've seen that. The same thing with files as well. If they're linking to a file and they get a broken image, hover over it and see where it's going to, because it may be linking to a course that you don't have access to. And so then the file is going to break.
That's also another reason why it's so important when you take a screenshot for troubleshooting purposes. If it's in Canvas, always include the address bar, because the address bar gives us so much information on what and where and what's going on, and allows us to investigate a lot quicker because we already know what the assignment is and what the course is, and we can kind of troubleshoot a lot more easily. So that's something that's really important. A lot of times people have a tendency to zoom in to where the error message is. It's actually more helpful if you give us the whole screen, including the URL box for our URL bar for exactly that reason.
So you can see here, I clicked on the link and it's got the course ID, it's a page, and then it gives us the name of the page. I don't know why it doesn't give us the ID though. Oh, because we're doing, yeah.
It's because it's a page. Pages give you the title.
That's true. So just some things of note about course URLs and how to use them. So if you've got questions, please submit them to j.mp/ITPD office hours. I don't see any in there yet. And Amy, it is recording, by the way, automatically.
I meant to ask you.
Uh-huh. Get one job. We'll post the recording later. I'm trying something new with the OBS system to record it to hopefully help the quality. Amy did it and said it wasn't good, so we'll see how this does afterwards. Have you all messed with the data page when you're streaming and watched that? It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the YouTube studio is pretty cool. They've made some changes. Recently, it's giving you a tour now. I'm like, thanks, YouTube. You could have given me that tour, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and that would have been a little more helpful. But thanks. Appreciate it now.
You helped them work out the bugs.
I can't
So
tell
it's
you how
people
many,
learning after you that will benefit from this.
I can't tell you how many times I opened that thing and something would have moved dramatically, and I'd be like in full on like, where did it go? Like, where's my button, or where is everything? Yeah.
I meant to tell you, I got into a meet in a different domain, and I got to see some of those other tools, like the breakout rooms and stuff.
Oh, they're cool.
Yeah. I was like, what
Really
is
cool.
this? We don't have this.
Yeah, Google has some cool things like that. They're smooth too. They move pretty smoothly.
Good to know. My son came in to yell at me because I was supposed to get him a snack and forgot.
Easy to forget when you have one job to do.
Thanks. And that was fair. Well played, Amy.
I mean, in fairness, I was pretty sure I'd made him click the button to automatically record last time, but I could not remember. That's been 2 weeks.
Well, if we don't hear from anyone here in a minute, I guess we'll end it for the day.
I'll give you one guess as to what he wanted to tell me.
Hungry?
Always hungry. I can't feed him enough.
Yep.
Well, I hope everybody has a good week. If you've got questions, let us know. Submit the form or continue to put in tickets, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So, got anything else, Jake? Are you good?
I'm good.
Good. Hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see you soon.